Welcome back to This Week. When the special session on public safety ended this week, we asked Republican and Democratic lawmakers, the governor, and Covenant school parents if this session was a success or a waste of time and money. The answer was yes.
To the question of whether it's been as successful, absolutely. I mean, there has been a lot of dialogue that some of us were not familiar with because we're not in the Nashville bubble. We live in other parts of the state where some of these conversations aren't a day-to-day thing for us. And so I think we come back in January really much better prepared to tackle some of the really challenging issues that this state faces.
This was not a session about public safety. Right. This was a session about silencing dissent, about criminalizing children, and abuse of power. And so we are appreciative of all people who came. You deserve an apology, particularly the Covenant families deserve an apology from this House. Because what happened there was a sham, and rather than face you, the Speaker ran back to his office and locked the door.
Well, I believe it was a success, and a lot of times people don't understand the process that we go through to get to where we are. I think there's a lot in there that is beneficial to the safety of students and people in Tennessee.
It's been a complete waste of time. It's been a waste of money on the taxpayers. It's been disrespectful to the Covenant families. It's been disrespectful to the public at large, and in fact to our members. And I think the people wanted more, expected more.
We are weary not just from the past 2 weeks, but from the past 5 months of seeking solutions and unity. It's difficult to find the words to say for such a time as this, that we held a special session following the extraordinary tragedy of a mass shooting that took place at the Covenant School, and yet we took no meaningful action.
It's good when we make progress of any kind, and we have made progress, and we will continue to make progress, and their engagement has made a difference and will make a difference going forward.
Our elected representatives adjourned for the rest of the year without passing a single bill on gun safety or any bill that could help mitigate gun violence for our children, your children. I believe our children should be able to go to school without fear of being murdered. I believe our children shouldn't have to worry at school whether or not they'll ever see their mommy or daddy again.
This week was important because I worked hard together with lawmakers to move the ball forward. That was my effort all week long, every day in the Capitol, meeting with those lawmakers. And we brought this to a conclusion that moved our state forward and put us in a place to continue to move forward.
While today's inaction by the legislature hurts, it pales in comparison to the pain of March 27th. That pain and our desire to protect others from experiencing the unimaginable trauma that became our reality, it provides the energy to carry on. And at the end of the day, this is actually only a little less than we expected.
We have tried in the House as much as we could to move the ball down the field. And we didn't even bring it here where we wanted to. But I'm going to work every day between now and regular session with those families and every other family in Tennessee to try to make Tennessee a safer place to live. I live here. We live here. You live here. This is unacceptable to not pass bills that will make us a safer state without trampling on anybody's civil liberties.
Today we will go home and we'll look at our children in the eyes, many of whom sheltered from gunfire that tragic day on March 27th. They will ask what our leaders have done over the past week and a half to protect them. As a mother, I'm going to have to look at my 9-year-old in the eye and tell her nothing. Our elected representatives have done nothing. Our state has done nothing to make you safer. or to prevent this from happening again and again and again and again.
There was an understanding that when we talked to them, we told them that the likelihood of passing the enhanced orders of protection was probably not going to happen. So that wasn't a surprise to anybody that talked to us. We thought there were other bills that would be beneficial and that could have helped the Covenant shooting situation in the future. We passed them. Unfortunately, we couldn't get across the finish line with the Senate, and so we'll come back in January and see what we can do. But we did get in some funding and other things that's helpful for the near future for mental health resources and tools and access, and also for those who are uninsured that need those services as well.
That we're just sitting here waiting for this to happen again. But every day I drop my son off, the same thing could happen again. And I know we can't eradicate evil in this world, but we could sure work to stop it and lessen it.
Do you feel like special session was a success?
Well, I certainly believe it was hopeful. It was difficult, as I said. It was important. But important and difficult and hopeful, those are things that we should celebrate, and I am. Do we have a lot of work to do going forward? We should never stop.
Thanks for spending part of your weekend with us. That will do it for another edition of This Week. We hope to see you back here next weekend for another edition of This Week. Between now and then, you have a great week.